Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and I'm going to be teaching you the quotient rule. And the quotient rule is basically used for when you're trying to find the derivative of a fraction. And this right here is the quotient rule. And high is going to be your numerator and low is going to be your denominator. So it's going to be low, which is the denominator, times the derivative of your numerator. And you're going to subtract that from the numerator times the derivative of your denominator. And it's all going to be over the denominator squared. And here's an example problem. The first thing you want to do is identify which one's going to be high and which one's going to be low. So 5x minus 2 is going to be high and x squared plus 1 is going to be low. So the next step will be plugging it into here. So you're going to do, it's going to be x squared plus 1 times the derivative, which is just going to be 5. And you're going to subtract that from 5x minus 2 and the derivative of the bottom, which is just 2x. And this is all going to be over x squared plus 1 squared because it's your low squared. The next step is going to be distributing the 5 into the 5x plus 1 and also distributing this negative and multiplying these two together. So once you do that, it's going to be 5x squared plus 5, and then when you do this, it's going to be, you're going to have your negative, and it's going to be 10x squared minus 4x. And it's still all over low squared. Now what you're going to do is distribute this negative. And then once again, it's all over the bottom. You don't want to FOIL out the bottom because a lot of the times they just leave the bottom just as it is squared. And once you simplify this and add like this 5x and subtract the 10x, your answer for the derivative is going to be negative 5x squared plus 4, oh, hold on, there you go, plus 4x minus plus 5. And it's just over x squared plus 1 squared. And this is your final answer. And that's the derivative of this. Okay, so for the second problem, I already wrote it down and put it into the formula. So right here, it's going to be low. So you have the x squared plus 9 times the derivative of the top part, which is the derivative is 3x squared minus 10x plus 4. And then the next part of the equation is minus high, which is, you can just plug that straight down here, and the derivative of the denominator, which is 2x, and it's all over the denominator squared. So once you get here, you're going to distribute this 9 plus x squared into this right here because it's multiplying, and you're also going to do the same here. So once you do that, your answer is going to be 3x to the 4th minus 10x to the 3rd plus 4x squared plus 27x squared minus 90x plus 36. And that's all for this first problem, or this first part right here. And you still need to subtract it from 2x to the 4th minus 10x cubed plus 8x squared plus 6x. And it's still all over low squared. So the next step is going to be just multiplying this derivative or multiplying this negative out. So what you can do is this will now become a negative 2, a negative 2x to the fourth. This will be a positive 10x to the third. This is going to be a negative 8x squared, and it's also going to be a negative 6x. So now what you can do is you can just combine like terms, and once you do that, your f prime of x final answer will equal x to the fourth plus 23x squared minus 96x plus 36 all over x squared plus 9 squared. And this will be your final answer. Okay, so this is the third problem, and it's a tangent line problem. And one of the first things you want to do is simplify it so it's easier to put into the quotient rule. And what you're going to do is multiply this by a special 1, and that's just x over x. So it simplifies down to 3x minus 1 over x squared plus 5. And then this is what you can use to put in to the quotient rule formula. And then when you do that, it'll equal and then once you get here, you can just start distributing the 3 into the x squared plus 5 and the 2x into the 3x minus 1. And once you simplify this down, it's going to equal 3x squared plus 15x, and you're going to get a minus 6x squared minus 15x minus 2x minus 5, and this will all be over the same x squared plus 5 squared. And then when you combine, in here you'll combine your like terms, so you'll combine the x squares, the x's, and then just 5 will be by itself, and you're going to get negative 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 all over x squared plus 5 squared. And this is your derivative of 3x minus 1 over x squared plus 5. And once you find your derivative, you're still not done with the problem because it asked you to find the tangent line when it was at negative 1, 1. So what you're going to do is plug in negative 1 for every x that's in the derivative. And when you plug in all your 1's, you're going to get 0 for the slope. And then you're going to want to put it into point slope form. And the point slope form is just y2 minus y1 equals m times x2 minus x1. And when you plug it in, you're going to get y minus 1 equals 0 times x plus 1. And then when you just simplify it, y equals 1 is going to be your equation of the tangent line.